The biggest financial advantage that you could have is having a car that is completely paid off. And the reason is because cars are expensive. I mean, after housing, transportation is our second highest expense. And this expense is just getting higher and higher because the average monthly payment for a new car is $735. And for a used car is $523. But having a car payment isn't the only thing that makes a car expensive, but we also have to pay for gas, insurance, maintenance, repairs, and taxes. I mean, according to the AAA, the average American spends $10,728 a year on their car. Cars are expensive, and if you have a car payment, in this video I want to inspire you to either aggressively pay off your existing payment or consider trading it in for a more affordable car that you can pay off quickly. Because there are so many advantages that come with having a car that is paid off that make life a lot better. And in this video, I want to share 8 of those advantages. And the first advantage is you have more breathing room in your budget. Now, when you have a car payment, it makes it much harder to budget your money because it eats away a huge chunk of your budget. For example, let's imagine a person who makes $5,000 a month. If they had a new car payment of $735, that means 15% of their budget goes to paying off their car, which is a huge chunk of your budget because outside of a car payment, we have so many other bills that we need to pay for. And with the price of everything increasing, dedicating 15% of your budget to a car payment would create a much tighter budget where you would struggle to pay all your bills on time. You'd have less money to pay off debts and have little to no money left over to save. Having a car payment really restricts your budget. However, when you instead have a paid off car, it creates a lot more breathing room in your budget. For example, imagine if that person instead had a paid off car. They would have an extra $735 a month to advocate in other areas of their budget, like getting ahead on their bills, paying off debt quicker, and saving more money. Not having a car payment opens up so much breathing room in your budget. The second advantage is you have more money for fun spending. Not only does not having a car payment open up a lot of breathing room in your budget, but it also puts a lot more money back in your pocket so you can do more fun things in life. I mean, avoiding a new car payment saves you $8,820 a year, and avoiding a used car payment saves $6,276 a year. And imagine all the fun things that you could do with that extra money. I mean, with an extra $8,820, you could take a trip to Europe, go to 10 concerts, eat out an extra meal every week, enjoy drinks and ice cream with friends every weekend, and still have money left over to save. And call me crazy, but in my opinion, being able to do all those fun things is much cooler than having a Mercedes that sits in a parking lot 22 hours a day. When you don't have a car payment, you save a lot of money that you can use to do fun things that ultimately make your life a lot richer. Now, the third advantage is you don't have to deal with car dealerships. When you decide to get a car loan, you have to go through this very complex process where you have to get approved for a loan, sign complex paperwork, get a payment plan, get letters in the mail, and remember to make payments every month for years. Dealing with car dealerships is a very annoying thing, but because they still have the title and you don't own the car, you still have to listen and do what they say. It's a hassle. However, when you don't have a car payment, you don't have to deal with a car dealership ever again. And that gives you a bit more peace of mind and makes being an adult slightly easier because it's one less thing to worry about. Now, the fourth advantage is you can get lower insurance premiums. Now, when you get a car loan, despite having the car, you do not own it, and the dealership keeps the title until you pay it off. And because they still have the title, they have more of a say over the car than you do. And they force you to do things like spend more money on your insurance, making you get plans with low deductibles and coverage you might not want. However, when you own the car and have the title, you can choose to get whatever insurance plan you want, which can lower your insurance premium. Obviously, you still want good coverage, but you have more of a say because it is your car. Now, the fifth advantage is you don't have high interest debt. When you take on a car loan, the interest rate that you have to pay is usually very high, which means on top of having an expensive car note, you have to pay a lot just in interest. For example, I have very good credit. My credit score is 777. However, despite having good credit, I went to Carvana just for this video and got pre-approved for a car loan with an interest rate of 15.21% for 72 months. And so if I decided to get a car that cost $25,000 in the lifetime of that 72-month loan, I would have a car payment of $531 a month and be paying $25,000 for the car and over $13,000 in interest. Which is just insane when you think about it. However, that is so normal in our society. In fact, so many people think that that is the only way that you can afford a car. But when you buy a more affordable car in cash, you avoid having to pay all that high interest debt, which allows you to save a lot of money. Now, the next advantage is paying for the other car expenses isn't as big of a deal. Alright, so up to this point in the video, we have mainly focused on car payments because as I mentioned, they are extremely high. However, car payments are only one expense that you have to pay when you are a car owner. But when you're a car owner, you also have to pay for insurance, gas, maintenance, repairs, and taxes, which is also a lot of money. Whether or not you have a car payment, owning a car is still a big expense. However, when you don't have a car payment, these other expenses that you have to pay for don't seem as big of a deal. For example, recently I had to get 2 new tires on my car, which was $250. And when I was getting it done, I thought to myself, well, at least I don't have a car payment. That would seem like a much bigger deal if I did. When you pay off your car, you still have expenses that come up every now and then, but they don't seem as big of a deal because you don't have that big expense of a car payment. Now, the seventh advantage is you avoid having an upside down car loan. As you probably know, cars are something called depreciating assets, meaning over time the value of your car is less and less, compared to an appreciating asset like an index fund that increases in value over time. And when you choose to get an expensive car loan that takes a very long time to pay off, you risk running into something called an upside down car loan, which means the amount you owe is worth more than the value of the car, meaning you have negative equity. Which is not a good situation to be in because say you get in a crash and your car is totaled. The insurer will pay you the value of your car, however you still owe money to the lender. Cars are depreciating assets, and so it's important to pay off your car as quickly as you can so you don't get caught up in this upside down car loan. Now, the final advantage of having a paid off car is you have the freedom of a car with no strings attached. Now, in this video, I am not advising that everyone should sell their car and start taking public transportation. I rode public transportation for 2 years while living in Ecuador, and I am not doing that again. I could write a book on crazy bus stories in Ecuador. I used to tell people, el Agustín no le gusta el Ecovía chico. But I actually love cars, and although they're expensive and annoying, they do make life a lot richer because they're convenient, they're comfortable, and they take you to cool places. Cars make you feel like you're going places, if you know what I mean, because there's so much freedom that comes with owning a car. However, it's hard to truly enjoy that freedom when you have a car payment because, as I explained in this video, it consumes a lot of your budget. It gives you less money for fun stuff. It's more responsibility. You don't have full ownership. You're paying more because of interest. You also have to worry about the added expenses, and cars are depreciating assets. When you have a car payment, it's almost like your entire life revolves around the car. And so if you do have a car payment, I would encourage you to either aggressively try to pay it off or trade it in for a more affordable one that you could pay off quickly. Because when you have a paid off car, you can enjoy all the benefits that come with having a car and drive off into the sunset with no strings attached. And those are the advantages of having a paid off car. And with that, muchas gracias, que tengan un buen día, nos vemos chicos.